In today's stock analysis, we are going to examine the key pillars, look at past results, see what the analysts' predictions are, create a valuation, and review then rate the company. Today we are going to look at Pepsi Company, ticker, PEP. Let's dive into the process I follow when reviewing whether or not to invest in a company. I analyze financial information against the 12 key pillars. These pillars are based on the insights and teachings of the best super investors, investors like Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, Joel Greenblatt, and Phil Town, and what I consider to be the most critical metrics when evaluating a business. Ideally, we want to see each metric achieve or exceed a specific benchmark. A company can earn 1 point for meeting the target, or 0.5 points if it falls just short but within 2% of the target. Stick around until the end. I'll reveal exactly what I plan to do with this stock and why it could matter for you. First, what does Pepsi County actually do? PepsiCo is one of the world's largest food and beverage companies, owning iconic brands such as Pepsi, Gatorade, Frito-Lay, Tropicana, Quaker, and more. The company operates in more than 200 countries and generates revenue from both its beverage and snack segments. With a focus on consumer staples and global distribution, PepsiCo offers strong brand loyalty, stable cash flows, and defensive business qualities that have made it a favorite among long-term investors. Now, let's break down the 12 key pillars. The first pillar is earnings per share growth, which measures how much profit the company generates per share. For PepsiCo, EPS growth over the past 12 months is -2%, falling short of our 10% target, scoring 0 points. Next is free cash flow growth, a key metric for Warren Buffett, as it reveals how much cash is left after capital expenditures. PepsiCo's FCF growth is -9%, scoring 0 points. Revenue growth tells us how effectively a company is expanding its sales. PepsiCo's revenue growth is flat at 0%, which scores 0 points. Book value growth, highlighted by Phil Town as essential for reflecting shareholder equity growth, is at 2% for PepsiCo, below our benchmark, scoring 0 points. Next, we turn to return on invested capital and return on equity. These tell us how efficiently management is using capital. PepsiCo has a return on invested capital of 14% and a very strong return on equity of 51%, both exceeding the 10% target and earning 1 point each. Next is debt. Joel Greenblatt favors companies that can pay off the debt within 3 years using free cash flow. PepsiCo's debt ratio is 4.36, which exceeds our acceptable threshold of 3, scoring 0 points. With the information we have gathered, it tells us that aspects of the key pillars are underwhelming, but let's look further into the company to see if there are any redeeming factors. Now let's look at the remaining key pillars which help define an excellent business. Gross margin, which reflects the percentage of revenue retained after direct production costs, is 55%, exceeding the 40% target, scoring 1 point. Operating profit margin, a favorite of Peter Lynch, shows how much profit is left after operating costs. PepsiCo reports a healthy margin of 16%, scoring 1 point. Free cash flow yield, which Terry Smith uses to assess return efficiency, is 6.27%, exceeding the 5% target, scoring 1 point. 10-year book value growth is 4%, falling short of the 10% benchmark, scoring 0 points. 5-year net income growth, which reflects long-term profitability and is favored by Bill Miller, is 6%, just below the minimum target and scores 0 point. In the description, I've included a link to the investors page and the annual report if you want to check it out for yourself. PepsiCo offers stability and strong margins, backed by its globally recognized brands and recurring consumer demand. While growth has slowed, the company's profitability, pricing power, and operating efficiency continue to stand out. PepsiCo is also a reliable dividend payer, currently offering an annual dividend of $5.69 per share, which equates to a yield of around 4.31%. The dividend payout ratio is roughly 84%, indicating that a large portion of earnings is returned to shareholders, typical of mature, stable companies in the consumer staples sector. As of today, the stock is trading at $131.98. Over the past 6 months, the stock has declined, reflecting concerns over pricing pressures and softer volume growth in some categories. Here's a quick overview of PepsiCo's financial metrics, along with what each one tells us. Market cap, $180.96 billion. This represents the total value of the company's shares, a measure of size and investor confidence. Revenue, $91.52 billion, shows the total income from sales over the last 12 months. Net income, $9.37 billion. This is profit after all expenses, and it's used to calculate EPS. Shares outstanding, 1.37 billion. Total number of shares held by shareholders. EPS, $6.80. Reflects profit per share, a key driver of stock price. P/E ratio, 19.41, much lower than their 10-year average of about 24. This shows how much investors are paying for each dollar of earnings. Dividend, $5.42 per share, a yield of 4.31%. A solid dividend with consistent growth with a payout ratio of around 84%. The analyst consensus is a buy. Many analysts expect limited upside in the near term, estimating an average growth of 5% over the next 5 years. The price target is about $161, which suggests modest upside from current levels. Let's calculate a valuation, using PepsiCo's current EPS of $6.80, and an estimated EPS growth rate of 5%, assigning a forward PE ratio of 24, and projecting 10 years forward with a 7% desired return. This results in a future stock price of about $266. Give you an intrinsic value of about $135. If we apply a margin of safety of 25%, this gives us a buy price of $101.35. With the current price above our buy price, scoring across. It all depends on your personal view and outlook for the company, as well as the return on investment you would like to see. When reviewing the key pillars, PepsiCo scored 5 out of 12, earning across. Over the last 6 months, the stock has experienced a decline, reflecting broader pressures in the consumer staples sector, scoring across. Analysts are forecasting EPS growth of 5%, scoring across. The current price is above the buy price, scoring across. According to Morningstar, PepsiCo has a wide economic moat, due to its unmatched brand portfolio, global distribution scale, and pricing power, scoring a check. Thanks for sticking with me. Now let me share my personal thoughts and opinions on this company. My final overall rating is 1 out of 5 stars. PepsiCo is a solid, dividend-paying blue chip with defensible market share and reliable cash flows. While the company faces short-term pressures and limited growth, it remains a great income stock for conservative, long-term investors seeking stability over explosive growth. It's a classic example of a business you can own through all market cycles, but from a value standpoint, I personally prefer a better entry point closer to the margin of safety. Thank you for joining me in today's analysis. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights.